What's up, everybody? The name is Law Nation. This is Cowboys Sports Report and everything else. Let's talk about this. Of course, my philosophy will be this right here. The Cowboys should, the operative word is should, sit back and wait until after the draft. I believe you get more out of it as it relates to that. Now, Brandin Cook is no one to sneeze at. I do like his skill set. I do like the way he had accrete the ball and approach the ball and how point the ball and can take the top off the defense and these sorts of things. But in the actuality of it, in the grand scheme of things, you do not want to shoot yourself in the foot right before the draft. I've been saying this for a minute now. You want to go into this draft the best player available. And in this particular draft, you got to say to yourself, man, this draft is one of the biggest wide receiver class in a long time. And what you don't want to do is paint yourself into a corner. You flat out don't want to paint yourself into a corner. I get it. I absolutely get it. You got rid of a wide receiver that took on a lot of things that a lot of people didn't see, and a lot of people that don't understand and know football, they would never understand that you have the safety over the top. They shade that area. They roll coverage to that side. You have the better defensive back on that side of the field. And your wide receiver that you're asking for now, he's pretty much taking on the number 2 DB or the 3rd DB or what have you. There's no rolling of coverage. There's no safety that's going to be saying, okay, we're going to roll coverage to CD Lamb's side. And now for the 2022 season, heading into that, CD Lamb will have the safety rolling over his side, and he will face against the number 1 DB on the opposing team. And I'm not saying that CD Lamb is not able or eligible to compete against that. I'm not saying that. I think the world of CD. I think that, hey, at some point you got to learn to swim, right? Take the training wheels off and ride the bike without it. So I believe in all of those things, right? So in this scheme of offense, the way Kellen Moore operates and runs his offense is more of the attitude of there's no number ones, there's no number twos. Everybody's equal. It's a spread 'em offense. It's a situation whereas they like to do a little motion before the snap or what have you. And it's not a situation where it's the scheme. No, it's a philosophy. It's a system. So it's two different things that we got to look at when you're talking about that. Leon, appreciate you. He said he likes Cooks. I feel you very much so. I think that Cooks entering in to this, he's only 28 years of age, right? He's not that old, by the way. And you have to say to yourself, if the Cowboys fool around and win this this trade scenario, and they get him for the team, get him for the Cowboys, then there's a situation whereas you look at James Washington and say, hey man, you back to the 3rd or 4th option now. You no longer will be the 2nd option. We will insert you into this system, but now you will be more of the 3rd or 4th option. You can do so many things with Cooks because you can put him inside the slot. Also, he can run out on the outside, and he will be your quote-unquote dynamite weapon because he can take the top off the defense. And every year, man, this guy, I believe, had 6 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. So he can find the soft spots in the zone. And on top of that, he is a guy that can work the field. And he's a quarterback-friendly type of wide receiver. Not the biggest of the biggest, but he just figure out ways to nose the ball, bring it home, and get down with it. So I look at it. I look at it like that. Shout out to you, Bush. Appreciate you for jumping in. Tonka, thank you for being part of this. But the Dallas Cowboys should look at this thing and say, okay, we going into the draft. And come hell or high water, we drafting. We flat out drafting a wide receiver. But at the same time, we still need to stay firm and stick to what we know. And one thing I can tell you right now is this team still need an offensive lineman, right? And this team still would need an edge guy. Believe it or not, we can have hope. We can have hope that Dorrance Armstrong can repeat what he did last season. If you look at that with the 5 sacks or what have you, and we can only hope that Dante Fowler, the lights don't be too bright over here, right? We can only hope that those things going to happen. That is going to be good. I feel you. I think the Cowboys will be good. I'm optimistic on that. I really think that they can figure out things. We need to dominate offensively. Yeah. Let me pull this up right quick and show you guys some of the charts here. I really appreciate you guys for jumping in and being part of this episode. Be sure to hit that like, share this content, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And let me pull this up right quick. Appreciate you guys so much for being part of this episode. And here we go. Bam. All right, so here's his targets. He had 130 targets last season. He had 90 receptions, which is good, and receiving yards 1,000. And he had 6 touchdowns, which put him in 18th in the league. We don't really care too much about overall grades or what have you. We're going to look at drops. He had 4 drops out of 130 targets. Well, pretty much 90 receptions, 4 drops, man. That's a good ratio, That's a real good ratio. 11 yards, 11.5 per reception. So that's not like he's catching a 4-yard or 5-yard pass or a 7-yard pass. No, this dude is catching 11.5 yards. He's averaging that. And then yards after catch is 3.9, which is good. And passer rating when targeted is 98.8, which is good. I think that James Washington is like 83 or something, passer rating when targeted. And he had 2 carries for 21 yards, so he was averaging 10 yards a tote. I'm looking at Brandin Cooks as a guy that you can fit into this particular system and say, all right, cool. He will put a lot of eyeballs and play recognition on him, and it will decrease some of the stress levels that you may have out of CeeDee Lamb. And, I would just look at it like this, Cowboy Nation. Here's the thing. Go into this draft with the mindset. Go into this draft with the mindset of saying to yourself, I need to make sure that we're not clouded and don't give away draft picks. You got 9 draft picks, but don't give away your premium draft picks for someone who already stressed that they finna get rid of this guy. Don't get fleeced by the Texans. Don't get into this bar fight with the Texans over Cooks. All right, so here's what we have. Packers and the Jets have called Texans about Brandin Cooks, as well as while the Rams and the Raiders previously called him before they went and picked up, of course, Allen Robinson and / Devontae Adams. Okay, Cooks is only 28. This is my guy Jordan Schultz. Appreciate him. 6 1K seasons, 15-plus yards, 5th since 2014 of 15-plus yards, 205 catches. So I look at it like this, Cowboy Nation, as we look at all of these things. These are good numbers. And plus, how many different quarterbacks he had? I think he had multiple. He had multiple different quarterbacks. I think 4 different quarterbacks during this time frame. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, 4 different quarterbacks. Yeah, so that is a situation where we all can say, hey, give this man some continuity. Give this man a situation where he have one quarterback. And what I think what happened with Brandin Cooks is teams, when they went to trade for him, they said, hey, we'll make him our number 1, right? And I just don't think that he's a 1. I think that he is a guy that's a weapon, that you utilize him all over the field, and you just don't put a label on him saying, hey, he's the end-all, be-all. No, You put him in a system whereas he feeds off of the other guy, or the other guy feeds off of him. He's a two-headed guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. So many people get wrapped up in the numbers, and so many people get wrapped up in the thoughts of saying, "Hey, we need a one. We need a one. We want him to be a one. We want no. Hey, since this is the system, be the system guy. That's how I look at it, Cowboy Nation. Yeah, he is a threat. We need speed. This is from Eddie O. I agree, Eddie. We do absolutely need speed. We do need to have guys that can take the top off. I'm not talking about quickness. Coop quick. That's quickness, right? Coop quickness. Gallup, 4-5 guy, but he got wiggle to him, and he can take the top off the defense, right? But that's out of wiggleness. And then teams play that and say, okay, yeah, you beating us over the top, then we'll just play a little bit further back. Then that take away Gallup physicality, and that take away some of his aggressiveness at the top of the route, because there's no way that you can do your chicken wing move, or there's no way that you can get in phase or what have you and try to drop up and catch the ball. There's no way you can do that. Jab step is get less and less and less and less effective, because now you got somebody above you. So when we look at CeeDee Lamb, what kind of skill set he have? I think he's explosive, especially yards after catch. CD is that guy. Far as a guy that can take the top off the defense, he's similar. He's similar to what Gallup will bring or what have you. That's just how it goes at the top of the route. Now we have James Washington. Similar. All of these guys, James Washington, Gallup, and Lamb, similar as it relates to the ball winning air. And, of course, you can argue yards after catch. And, of course, the top creme de la creme of him is CeeDee Lamb. So how do you add in a new wrinkle? Speedy guy that's quick and fast that can take the top off the defense. But at what price? The Texans is not going to give him away for free. Now, if the Texans, if they pick up the phone and they say, all right, cool, we'll take a 5th or 6th round draft pick, then shoot, that's right up our alley. We ain't going to worry about the money. But if they asking for something more than that, then you have to say, hey, I'm done with that. I'm going to go into this draft, and I'm going to draft. But I look at it like this. That asking price goes down after the draft, because teams can literally look at the Texans and say, hey, man, that's good, that's cool and all, but, man, we got such and such guy. We got Scott Moore now. We got Calvin Austin now. You see where I'm going with this? Shout out to you, Nightbot. Appreciate you. Who else we have? Vic Damone. Appreciate you. Why are they trying to get this dude? He doesn't need a cook. If we can get an A.J. Brown or a DK, it will work out. But Dak needs dogs. Vic Damone, Titans announced that, hey, we're not trying to get rid of A.J. Brown. He's a staple piece for us, and we're going to try to work out an extension. He's the guy. He's the heart and soul of our team right now. DK Metcalf, representative, Todd France, and all of those boys said, man, look, our client is not going anywhere right now. And those guys would require a first-round draft pick. Plus, you will have to extend them or pay them handsomely. It's going to be a good number. So, look, let's just move all of that conversational piece out the way. The craziest thing of it all, A.J. Brown wasn't a first-round draft pick. DK Metcalf wasn't a first-round draft pick. Right? You can find wide receivers in this particular draft. In 2 to 3 years from now, they will be your versions of DK Metcalf. They will be your versions of an A.J. Brown. Right? They will be your versions. They will be fresh, untouched, without a blemish, right? And I'm not saying that those guys got blemishes, but what I'm saying is, Cowboy Nation, don't get rid of something that you can use to help you out. The 24th pick is so vital to your organization because you got 5 years of control. 5 years of control on a cheap labor. And I hate to say it this way. Really, it's four, but you got the option, the fifth year. Those first round draft picks are very premium. And of course, you can look at it like this too. Hear me out. You can always look at it like this. Since you don't will and deal in the free agency, especially the first week, the draft is the bloodline of your organization. The draft is. Yeah. And I would look at it like this. We talk about formulas all the time. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. I thank everybody for watching. I know you guys busy. I know you guys at work or what have you. Yeah. It is what it is. Let me see. Yeah. Let me see. Got one. Okay. Yeah. A lot of organizations missing out on DK. Yeah, they did. All right. Mike Stanton, appreciate you. What's good with you? Appreciate you, Chef Mac. Lord, what do the Texans want for Cook? JD, I'm quite sure they don't want a fifth round draft pick nor a sixth. They want something. Look, the Raiders says no. Rams says no. And because they went and got Allen Robinson and, of course, Devontae Adams, but they said no previous to that. They're going to want something in return. You got a new coach over there, and he trying to build an organization and getting rid of a wide receiver with this level of production. Think about this. If Devontae Parker went for a third round, and his numbers are a whole lot better than Devontae Parker, they're going to at least want to sack him. Or more. Conditions tied to it. This was him for the 2021 season, and this is him for the 2020 season. 81 receptions, 6 touchdowns. And then 2019, 67. I think he got injured this year, but 42 receptions, still had a decent year in 2019. And then 2018 or what have you, 5 touchdowns, 80 receptions, 1,000 yards, 1,204 yards. So you got to look at it like this. They got a 1,000-yard receiver, and they're going to want something back in return. Let's listen.
Doc took criticism for going 8-8 with Cooper, Gallup and Cobb in 2019. Watson got praise for going 4-12 with Cooks, Cobb and Fuller in 2020.
This shout out to JR24. He's pretty much talking about the way criticism works. In Cowboys country, you're gonna get criticized. You're gonna get criticized regardless. You can't dig in your nose or scratch your eyeball or what have you. They're going to talk about you, And, yes, I've talked about this before on my show about the fact that, Dak Prescott to Randall Cobb put him back on the map. Cole Beasley, best year ever before he went to the Bills was when Dak was throwing him the ball. But the problem is people have thin patience with the Cowboys as relates to this quarterback, and especially as relates to this team. And they're going to say, thin patience, dude. It's been 26, 27 years now. What you talking about? But I get it. The sins and the errors and all of the faults falls on whoever will be the quarterback for the current day Cowboys. So when Dak is gone, and if it's another quarterback there, trust me, the four-ladder network will find a way to spin it to make it seem as if though this is the evil person. So that's just how it is. You got to just be aware of that, regardless. So that's just how it is. It's just how it is. JR2214, appreciate you, man. So it is what it is. Made the narrative of Watson of not having weapons, knowing Cooks had a thousand-yard season with the Saints, Rams, Patriots, Texans. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the weapon theory, the weapon philosophy is this right here, too. And let me let the AI say it, too. Say it, lady. Say it, lady.
Made the narrative of Watson of not having weapons knowing Cooks had 1,000 seasons with Saints, Rams, Pats, Texans.
All right, let me see. All right, Eddie, let me see if I can turn the volume up. I'm looking at my meter, and for some reason, it is playing around with me. All right, how about now, Cowboy Nation? Is the volume, is it better now? Appreciate you. All right, so here's one thing that we got to understand too, Cowboys, is this right here. We can't play victim of it, of course. I get it. Jack Frost says second is too much for a Cooks who's turning 28, and then he would be 29. That's just the price of doing business at this point. TLW says Cook stay with in concussion protocol. Yeah, I feel you with that. It is what it is. That's why he go across the middle. He flies in there, So that's just how it is. He can't play inside and out. So, yeah, you got that. Look, this is what I'm going to do so that you guys can see it all together. I would chop up some film, maybe about 3 to 4 minute video, and I would give you guys some of the cons and pros of Brandin Cook. I don't think that the Cowboys should. I don't think that they should get this guy. I think that they should go into this draft with a clear mind and draft. And if he's still available after the draft and after everything is said and done, then you you knock on the door and say, hey, man, what you guys willing to get rid of? Nah, second round too high. Third round too high. I mean, I'll lean on the fact he's 29, He's been on multiple teams. What are you trying to hide? I would go with that approach. I'll strong arm it. And if they don't bend to it, then I would say, okay, we have Calvin Austin anyway, or we have Treylon Burks anyway, or we have George Pickens, So that should be their philosophy at this point. Or if they have Velius Jones, who knows who we're going to draft? Christian Watson, Danny Gray. There's a lot of wide receivers in this particular draft. We got Miche. It can go on and on. We got Jameis Williams. So it can go so many ways, Cowboy Nation. But don't paint yourself into a corner. Thought it was your phone. Okay, but my audio is better now. I'm glad. Say no to Cooks. Appreciate you, Mac. Thank everybody for watching. I thank you guys for tuning in to this quick episode. Be sure to hit that like, share this content, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond. That's been my time.